In this video, we are going to create this gaming logo reveal animation inside of After Effects. Now this might look too much of animation initially, but it's not. We are not going to use any effects in this animation. All we are going to do is to play around with keyframes and masking concepts of After Effects. So watch this video till the end to learn some interesting animation techniques. And I've already created gaming logo animations even before, so you can check it out those videos later. Link of them are available in the description. So without wasting any more time, let's start this video. So here we are in Adobe Illustrator. I have this logo file over here. I got this illustration from freepik.com. Link of this illustration is available in the description. So I'm going to select this one and I want this stuff over here, not this text stuff but this stuff. So right click and let's make this ungroup, so I can select these two separately, and then by holding shift I'm going to select this much portion and hit Ctrl C to copy. Then you should create another composition. To create that, simply go to the file and click on this new, and after that you will get this option. Make sure that you are in RGB mode and width is 1920 by 180 and simply hit create. Now I have already created and saved this file, so I'll use this much only and simply hit Ctrl V to paste it over here. Now by holding shift I'm going to increase the size of it at appropriate position like this. Now select this, right click and choose ungroup. Also select this, right click and choose ungroup. Now I'm going to select this. I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Select this, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, and let's hide both of them. Now we have this mouth over here, so I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, hit enter, and let's call this thing as mouth and hit OK. Okay. Now we will select this. I'll right click and choose ungroup. I'll select this glasses by holding shift. I'm going to select this illustrations, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Also we don't need this stuff, so I'll delete it, this extra. I'm going to select this much portion. I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, select this thing, call it as glasses and hit OK. And let's hide this. I have this four buttons over here, so for that what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over here, click on this click to target, go to the release to layer sequence, so it will layer them separately, and by holding shift select all of them and bring them over here. Delete this extra layer, we don't want that. Then select this plus icon, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Enable this glasses, this mouth and all of this extra stuff, and now save this file. Hit Ctrl 0 to make this properly fit. Now let's go to the Adobe After Effects and let's create a new composition. I'll call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 30 seconds, background color is white color, and simply hit OK. Go to choose grid and guide option and hit on title selection. Now let's make this fit like this. Now press Ctrl I on your keyboard to select your logo file. I have this logo file over here. I'll select this, import as footage, composition, written layers and sizes, and simply hit click on import and double click to move this over here. Not double click but simply drag this over here and double click to open this composition. Now press Ctrl K to open the project settings and I'll call it as white color and I'll simply hit OK and OK. Now select both of this thing and let's hide this for now. Now we have to focus on this logo, so select all of these things and make sure that this thing should be at the center. Okay, now we will hide this mouth for now, and now we will focus on this portion, so I'll enable this only. Now press P for position. Let's select create one keyframe, press S, create one keyframe and hit U. Zoom in a little bit and go to 20 frames and create another keyframe. Let's go to the start and let's make this 0 initially. Select those scaling keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here like this. Okay, now go to the start, select this and bring this downwards, create one keyframe at position, go a few frames forwards around here. Let's move this over here and go over here and let's bring this properly at the center. Okay, so this is gonna be properly at the center. Click on this icon again, so we will see, we will get something like this. Now select those position keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here, move this handle over here, move this handle over here, and this should be over here. So if I hit play, I'll get something like this. Now after that, go few frame forwards, again create one keyframe, and in middle of it, let's move this over here. Again select this last keyframes, go to the graph editor, select this graphs and hit F9 first, and let's select this, holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here, like this. Again shift this handle, we need to adjust these handles like this. Okay, so let's go to the start. So right now this animation looks quite weird because it's very slow, so I'm going to click on this position icon, so it will select all the keyframes. I'll go to the start, and by holding alt I'll move this up to 1.10 frames, so I'll see this animation now, something like this. Now let's go to the start, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's make this one complete rotation. Now select those keyframes and hit F9. So if I hit play, I'll get something like this. Now let's go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift. I'll move this handle over here and this handle over here, so I'll get this kind of rotation. If you enable this motion blur, you will get this kind of stuff. Now this is for this background portion. Now I am going to select this, not this but this glasses. Press Y on your keyboard to select your pen behind tool, and I'm gonna bring this anchor point in middle of this glass point, and let's move this glass over here. Press P for position, create one keyframe, press R for rotation, and let's make it 90 like this, and hit U, and let's create one keyframe over here, go few frame forwards, select this and move this over here. I mean create one keyframe at this point, go over here and let's bring this, press V and let's bring this over here, and after that go few frame forward, create another keyframe, and in middle of this again move this upward, so we will get this a little bit of bouncy effect. Now select those keyframes and hit F9. We need to go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, select this, zoom in, move this handle over here and this handle over here, this over here, select this, this over here. Okay, so if I hit play, I'll get this. Now at this point I want it should start tilting downward, so I'll press R, create one keyframe, and at this point let's make this 0, go few frame forwards, again create one keyframe, and in middle of that I'll increase it to 10 and select those keyframes and hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, we need to follow the same thing. Let's move this over here, this over here, select this like this and like this, like this, like this and like this. Okay, so if I see this animation now, I'll get this kind of animation. So let's see this now. Okay, let's select this and move this animation over here, so it will come a little bit early. Now what I'm gonna do, let's go over here, and now I'm going to create one ellipse, and now I'm going to create one shape like this. I'll press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Select this and hit Ctrl D first. I'll lock this, we will use it later. Now select this shape layer, go to the fill option and select this fill and hit OK. Now let's bring this over here and we will make it apparent with this our glasses. So now this thing will move along with our glasses, so let's hide this for now. Now we will select this plus icon, or let's lock this glasses, select this plus icon, and we will select this shape layer and we will bring this after this plus icon. We'll select this, press F4 and choose alpha map and hit U. So now if I see, I'll get this over here. So first this, then this. Okay, now we have this four icons, I mean this four buttons over here. So I'll select all of them. I'll press Ctrl Shift C to create a separate composition. I'll call it as buttons, and I'll hit OK. Double click to open these compositions. Select them, press P for position. Let's go to the start. Let's create one keyframe over here. Let's go up to 10 frames or 20 frames, and let's create one keyframe. Now let's go to the start. Select this and let's move this over here. Select this, let's move this over here. Select this, let's move this over here. Select this and let's move this over here. So if I see, I'll get something like this. Now select those keyframes and hit F9 and complete this to fit. Okay, now after that go few frame forward and again create one keyframe. Now in middle of that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this and I'll bring this over here. Select this, I'll bring this over here. Select this, bring this over here. Sorry, hit Control Z again. We will select this, and instead of moving from here, I'll move from the position property only. So I'll bring this up. Select this, I'll bring this over here. Select this, let's move this over here, and select this and let's move this over here like this. Now select all of this keyframe, right click, go to the keyframe interpolation and make sure to choose this linear and simply hit OK. So now if I see this, I'll get something like this. Now select those keyframes and hit F9 again. Go to the graph editor. Now we will go over here, select this and move this over here. Select this, move this over here. Select this, move this over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Select this, adjust it like this. Select this and adjust it like this. So if I see this now, I'll get this kind of animation. Now select all of them, or you can select these keyframes first. Let's bring to 1 second, and by holding Alt I'll reduce the duration like this. Okay, so this is for this only. Now let's go to the last keyframe, and now what I'm gonna do, right click, I'll create one null object and I'll bring this over here like this. Now select all of them and make it apparent with this null one. Let's select all the keyframes, hit U. Let's select those keyframes and let's bring this somewhere around over here. Okay, so now I'm going to select this null object. Now after this animation, at this animation, I'll select this null object, I'll press R for rotation and I'll go over here and I'll rotate it on 90 degree. Okay, so if I see, after this, let's select those keyframes and hit F9. Then I want this one should start to animate, so I'll move this over here. So first this green thing is animating, then this thing gonna start to animate like this. But if you see, we can still see this thing over here. So let's move this up to 10 frames and let's select this and move this over here like this. So first this green thing is animating, then we want these things to start animate. And if you think the animation took a little bit of time, so all you need to do, simply move this over here until you can see this ball from here, so and hold Alt, close bracket. So I'll get first this, then this, then at this point I want this should rotate. I'll create one keyframe. Okay, let's go few frame forwards and let's make this 180. And then I want this green should start animate, so I'll select this, I'll move this over here. Again I'll bring this over here until I see this at the edge of this composition, and I'll hold Alt, open bracket to trim this. And at this point again I'll select this null object, I'll create one keyframe, I'll go few frame forward. Now I'll make it 270, and then at this point this one should start animate, so I'll move this over here. And again same thing, I'll move this until I'll see this thing at the edge of our composition, Alt, open bracket. So if I see this animation now, first this, then this, then this, and then at this point this is gonna animate. Let's see. Now after this, I'll select this null object again. I'll create one keyframe, go few frame forward. Let's make it 360. And at this point, this last one should start animate. Zoom out, and let's move this over here. Alt open bracket. So now if I see this thing, I'll get first this, then this, then this, like this. Okay, so I think we did one mistake. We don't need to move this over here because it's already over there, so we don't need to do that. Okay, now all we need to do, we need to select this null objects. We will hit F9, we will go to the graph editor, we will select this graph holding shift to move one handle over here and one handle over here, so we'll get a proper rotation for their animations. Let's see. Okay, now select all of them, press F4 and enable this blurry, motion blur. Now let's go over here. Okay, so we will get something like this for this. Okay, so now after that we have created one ellipse over here, so I'll bring this over here. I'll increase the stroke width, and for the color I'm going to choose this color only and hit OK. Let's go to the add menu and we will choose trim path. Let's go to the trim path and let's make this over here 65 and over here somewhere around like this. Then we'll go to the trim path, we'll go to the stroke and I'm going to choose a round cap for this. And let's go to the start. Initially let's create one keyframe over here, go few frame forward, create another keyframes, go to the start. Let's make this 50 and let's make this 50. Select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph holding shift, move the one handle over here and one handle over here like this. So we'll get this smiley effect over here, and I think this we need to increase. So yep, this looks good to me, like this. So now I want this should start animate from here. Let's select those keyframes and hit F9 to remove this graph. Let's select this and let's move this over here. So we'll get something like this, and if you want then you can increase this like this. Okay, okay, so this is gonna be my animation for this logo. Now we have to animate some text over here, so I'll select this things, I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll go to the main animation and I'll hit Ctrl V, and then we will type our text that we want. I'm going to type nerd, hit Ctrl A, then select this color, then reduce the size of it, select this, press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the align tab, align it horizontally, press V. Let's move this over here, go to the character menu and let's choose this darker version of this color and move this over here. Now if you want then you can change the font of this one to the gaming font, maybe like this. I'll choose somewhere around like this. This looks quite gay, this gives a quite gaming reveal stuff. Let's select both of them and let's move this over here. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this one. Let's hide this stroke and choose this color, and we will adjust it over here. And stroke width I'm going to choose 0.2, and color over here choose white color like this, or you can delete this, we don't need that. Now we have to focus on the stuff. So first I want this animation, I want this text animation, so I'll go over here, I'll go to the animate, I'll go to the position property, let's bring this downwards, go to the animator, create one keyframe over here, go few frame forward, create another keyframes and move this, go to the add menu, go to the property, go to the opacity and let's make this 0 like this. Select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here like this. Okay, now before that, at this point I want this thing should start animate, so I'll move this over here, press P, create one keyframe, press R, create one keyframe, press S, create one keyframe and hit U, go few frame forwards around here, create again those keyframes, go to the start, then go to the align tab and align it horizontally, press S and let's make this 0 initially, and at this point I'll make one complete rotation, then select those keyframes and hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here like this. Okay, hit U, select all of them and select this thin stuff first, press Ctrl Shift C and let's call it as text and hit OK. Press S for scaling option and scale it a little bit. Now select both of them and let's bring this in the middle of it, hit Ctrl A to select all of them, press Ctrl Shift, let's call it as logo and hit OK, hit Ctrl D, press S, unlink this, let's make this -100, press P for position and let's bring this downwards, press T for opacity and let's make this opacity 20. Now select this logo, go to the rectangle tool and create one mask over here, go to the mask one and increase the mask feathers like this, so we will get this reflection. So first I have this, then this, then this. Let's go over here, press F4, select all of them and enable this motion blur. So now along with the animation we will get some motion blur animation also. Now right click, new and create one null object, select both of them and make it a parent with this null 2, select this null 2, go to the start, create one keyframe and at around 8 seconds I'm going to make it 110 like this. So along with this animation we will get a little bit of scaling animation also. Let's move this over here and at this point I'll hit N, press Ctrl Y to create a solid background and I'll move this over here and I'll choose some bluish background over here. So now we will get this kind of animation which is simple logo reveal but quite cooler. So yep, this is how you can create a simple gaming logo reveal animation. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. And if you want to create some more interesting animations like this, then check out these two videos. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned.